Hello and welcome to the fifth in my series of HE vlogs, and for this one I've decided to be a little controversial. Why are all university mission statements the same? How does that help us as marketers and communicators when we're trying to find that real source of difference and make sure that we stand out in the market? When you think about it, most universities pick a position on a scale of how research intensive they are, how internationalised they are, what their approach is to employability, communities, and probably a dash of enterprise and sustainability. Every university, in my mind, is a mix of that, but to greater or lesser amounts on different factors. Few universities really resist the urge to be all things. It seems to be too big a step to take, but that doesn't make for a simple, impactful message. Now, the obvious case here is to look at the institutional positioning statement and its overall offer to the market, but that is quite a big job, and not every university has the appetite or the will to do that. But I will be looking at that in a future series because I think it's absolutely crucial now if institutions want to become market driven. So what can universities do to establish their specialness? Well, browse any supermarket shelf, and as you come across every product, they all tell you their product features. You might have no added sugar, locally sourced, new and improved, and you get the same thing with university courses in their prospectus. Cutting edge facilities, interdisciplinary projects, the dreaded word friendly. So they're the features of the course, but what about the benefits? Sell the sizzle, not the sausage. Sell the experience, not just the features, the bland facts. So instead of talking about cutting edge facilities, what's in it for the students? Perhaps you've been one of those brilliant universities to secure a TEF Gold this year. But what does having a TEF Gold mean to a student? Would a student know an innovative teaching method if it hit them in the face? What does it mean for them? Sell the sizzle, not the sausage. It's about the experience. It's so important now because the hot topic, and rightly so, is about value for money. So I encourage you to take the time and look at all of your literature and communications to check if you're really selling the sizzle. I know you might be tempted to switch me off right now because you must be thinking, I already know this. But have you really reflected on how you communicate your offer? If you're really into this, as I am, why not follow the Distinct in HE project? It's closed now, but there's a raft of resources on their website. And my most favourite bit is the way that they tell you to position your offer in communications. They say that it should be real, so it has to be authentic, it has to be genuine, based in fact and not made up, because somebody will catch you out in the end. It has to be relevant. Is what you're saying relevant to the course? Or are you under pressure to talk about that conference that academic colleague went to in Kazakhstan that bears no relevance to the course you're trying to promote? Strip all of that out. It must be relevant to the course. And finally, and the best bit, is that it has to be rare. The Distinct in HE project says that you don't really need a unique selling proposition because they acknowledge that there is very little uniqueness in the sector, but there are lots of opportunities to find out what you're quite rare at delivering. So you might be fantastic at delivering employability and compulsory work experience. You might be extremely proud of your student support offer and you've received several accolades to back up just how good you are at that. So make sure that it's sufficiently rare to make it stand out. So if you've got your real, rare and relevant message together and you sell that with a bit of sizzle, you can't go far wrong. Thanks for listening, and please check into the next vlog where I talk about my recent visit to the Shrek adventure and how I use that to boost marketing and communications. Thank you.